Yeah, I know Jax's design is inspired by Poppy the Performer, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fact that he's a literal rabbit, and somehow that explains everything about him. His chaotic energy, his violent nature, even the way he dominates every scene he's in. Because if you look at how rabbits have been portrayed throughout history, it all weirdly and paradoxically lines up with Jax's whole personality. And I say paradoxically because look at them. They're so fluffy and cute, friend-shaped, and most likely not bloodthirsty at all. And yet, for some reason, we've always depicted them as something more, something darker and unexpected. And to understand why that is, we need to take a quick history lesson. Let's rewind to the Middle Ages. Back then, monks would fill the margins of religious manuscripts with these bizarre drawings called drolleries, and rabbits were always committing heinous crimes in them. These cute little creatures were wielding swords, beheading hunters and their hounds, making pies with the flesh of their victims. They were a medieval symbol for the absurd, the violent, and the grotesque. And the weird part is that nobody knows exactly why. Historians have some fascinating theories though. Maybe it was to illustrate the world turned upside down, a place where the prey becomes the predator and the shy animals finally can take their revenge on those who hunt them. Or maybe it was just a medieval meme, like a way for scribes to poke fun at power structures and the absurdity of life through irony and satire. But this idea of the violent rabbit never actually died. Fast forward a few centuries and suddenly rabbits are still causing chaos, now just on the big screen. Monty Python and the Holy Grail gives us the iconic killer rabbit, a tiny fluffy creature that obliterates grown men like they're nothing. Watership Down looks like a cute animated movie about bunnies until you realize it's actually a brutal survival story filled with death and betrayal and existential dread. And then there's movies like Night of the Lepus that take it a step further and just go for it. Giant man-eating rabbits. This is where the killer rabbit trope was born, something that looks harmless but is way more dangerous than it should be. And somehow this trope found its way into kids' media too. And yes, here's where we talk about Bugs Bunny. We have to, he's an icon. He's not a killer, but he's not innocent either. He manipulates everyone, lies constantly, causes chaos just for the fun of it. He's a trickster, always one step ahead, breaking rules and somehow always coming out on top. He's like extremely close to Jax, except he doesn't have the trauma. And through him, rabbits became more than just violent. Now they're smart, they're cunning, unpredictable, and rabbits in media aren't just dangerous, they're calculating and ambitious because of how Bugs Bunny was portrayed. Even with all these examples, we still have to ask, why did this trope stick? Why do we still associate rabbits with chaos and cunning today when in real life they're not like that at all, right? Well, no. In real life, rabbits aren't the cute Easter mascots that we know them to be. They're prey animals, and this means they're always on edge, scanning for danger, jump at every little sound and motion you make around them. Where I'm from, there's an expression, sleeping like a rabbit, which means you basically get so easily spooked in your sleep, you wake up at every single change in your environment. And also, they react real fast. If they feel cornered, they will fight back. If you've ever had rabbits on a farm like I did, you know how ruthless they can be. I've seen sweet, fluffy bunnies turn into tiny demons when they feel threatened. Believe me, I'm a victim. They're not evil or anything, but they are extremely unpredictable. And if they feel like they're in danger, they will throw hands. And a real good example of a real-life catastrophe caused by rabbits happened in 1859 in Australia. A rich guy named Thomas Austin decided to release 13 European rabbits onto his estate so he could hunt them for sport. So just 13. Within decades, that number exploded to 200 million rabbits. 200 million! From 13! Their genetic pool is so small, they're basically all cousins. And they wrecked the continent. They caused severe environmental destruction as they stripped the land bare. Soil erosion because they're borrowing destabilized entire ecosystems. And they threatened over 300 native species, many of which went extinct because of them. Scientists even tried to stop them by introducing the myxoma virus. That's a disease that only affects rabbits. And what happened is they adapted, they didn't disappear. They survived, they kept going. Some even developed immunity to the virus. I cannot stress this enough. Bunnies are impossible to control. If they've got ground to burrow and grass to eat, a single female can produce 180 babies in her lifetime. Yeah, I did the math. And since they reach maturity in just a few months, their populations can explode overnight. This ability to multiply insanely fast led people in the past to associate them with witchcraft. They thought rabbits were appearing out of nowhere. There was something off about them, and that feeling was carried through the media we consume today. And finally, we can tie all of this information back to Jax. Jax is not an anthropomorphic rabbit randomly. All that we discussed applies to him. Just like rabbits took over Australia, Jax takes over the story. Every scene he's in, he dominates it. He controls every interaction. He spreads chaos, pushes boundaries, and completely shifts the energy of the room. He doesn't just exist in the circus, he invades it. He changes the adventure to fit his taste, and if things don't go his way, he can get violent. And just like Bugs Bunny, Jax is manipulative, clever, and always one step ahead. No matter what, he finds a way to come out on top. He blackmails Gangle, he mailed a pipe bomb to Zubul, he ignores everyone's safety. He's the first to go against everyone's wishes. But a key difference between Bugs and Jax is that Bugs does it for laughs, but Jax does it for control. He thinks he does it because it's funny, but in reality, he does it to delude himself that everything is just a game. Because if he admits it's not a game, then he has to face the fact that everything he did is real and has real consequences. And just like those medieval rabbits that appeared out of nowhere, associated with witchcraft, mystery, and fear, Jax is just as mysterious and confusing. We don't fully understand him at first. We don't know why he's so violent and different from the others. It feels unpredictable and chaotic, but that's the whole point. He's not supposed to make sense immediately. He is supposed to feel off at first, like something is wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on why. Then, this mystery slowly gets exposed as the episodes come out. His entire arc was even left for the very last episode, to keep us on our toes and have maximum suspense when we finally realize what's going on with him. But just like real rabbits, underneath everything, underneath this violence, he is scared. He's scared of being vulnerable, scared of people laughing at him, scared of forming real connections. So what does he do? Instead of being the one getting hurt, he becomes the one hurting others. He gives people every reason to hate him. Just like those medieval rabbits flipping the roles from prey to predator. And just like real rabbits reacting violently out of fear, Jax's violent nature isn't random. It's a paradox and his defense mechanism, a way to protect himself before anyone can hurt him first. The most important part of all of this is that Jax works because he embodies all the core contradictions of a rabbit. He looks harmless, but he's not. He acts confident, but he's not. You may think he can be your friend, but he'll only hurt you. He causes chaos, but everything comes from fear. So yeah, Jax's design isn't just cool for aesthetics, even though Goose herself mentioned that she just wanted a rabbit character. But she actually managed to cram centuries of symbolism and biology and storytelling, all colliding into one character. And maybe that's why he feels so unsettling, because deep down, he's not acting unnatural at all. He's acting exactly like a rabbit.